YHUO6IVr9EF. It's dark matter and Del Kintaro.
It's a beautiful day in the Wi-Fi neighborhood.
YHUO.
And we're live.
It is live. We is live.
We're live as we
tweet it
can
out.
get. Oh, you forgot the tweets.
I will send the tweets out now.
I'll retweet from my phone because I think that'll be the easiest way to retweet. Hey, we got some sin and axe action happening in the chat. Hey, what did you guys think of our new intro song?
Dude, you know what? I really had fun editing that one because, I was just like, I realized like I hate video editing, but I do like audio editing.
That's awesome, man. I think it turned out pretty decent. From the source material you had to work with, I think it turned out all right.
I wasn't gonna.
We had an almost shot milk through my nose from Aramont. Oh goodness, that's awesome.
It's been a week, guys, or girls and whatnots, and I don't know.
Folks, humans,
folks, peeps, packets. How was your week?
Man, it was really good, like exceptionally good. I'm really happy for the things that happened last week. So, how about you, my man?
Been good. I've been busy. I have been. Like I had a couple things lined up and coming up and whatnots, and I've been working on something cool that I can't share yet. But
a new El Guitarro special.
Yeah, I got somebody asked me if I was working on any gadgets, and I was like, no, I've been working on my sawing projects lately because of shits. But there is something I've been working on, and I'm working on it. So. Once that goes live, should be fun.
Yeah.
Weather has been okay, so
yeah.
I haven't been able to put the mileage on that I wanted to on my legs, but we'll see how it goes.
First off, shout out to your hat, super dope hat, by the way.
Yes, this is a patch by Cyrus, I think. Yeah, Cyrus gave it to me at ShmooCon one year.
Nice. Does that mean I hear that Japan's petitioning to turn it into Seven Eyes. Are you part of the Seven Eyes organization, Kentaro?
No, Hail Hydra. Dude, Hydra has become this mid-management nightmare that I'm kind of like. I wanted to.
It always gets stuck in the red tape.
I'm looking for new employment at another villain company. I hear Spectra might be hiring.
Spectra.
With the new movie coming out. So.
That's a good place to go, especially with your skill set.
It's coming along, yes. Congratulations on your marathon.
Half marathon. Let's not get too crazy.
So half is the distance of a full marathon?
Yep, 13.2.
Or is it half the effort? Oh.
I put in half the effort, that's for sure. But it wasn't my fault. Oh, side note, I'm a little peeved at Red Bull right now. In my neck of the woods, they have this thing called Rampage every year, which is a crazy mountain bike downhill extravaganza. And apparently tickets sold out in 50 seconds about 2 weeks ago. For it, and I didn't even notice that the tickets were live until yesterday, when I saw it was sold out. So I'm super sad. So we need to get a Red Bull sponsorship so I can go to Red Bull Rampage.
You're late to an event. Ooh, surprise! You're not known for punctuality.
I had COVID.
It's one of your weaknesses.
Hey, I've been doing pretty good with this show.
Yeah, I know.
It was rough in the beginning, let's be honest.
It was rough in the beginning. It was very rough in the beginning.
But then I figured out how to do OBS and streaming, and I figured out the best way to run this. So I think we've gotten it a lot better now.
We started using calendars for dates and times, and things turned out much better.
I have this wonderful friend named Kentaro who holds me accountable. So Anyway, so let's try to get some Red
It's
Bull.
not me who holds you accountable. It's our viewers and listeners to the show.
Absolutely.
We're
Which
awesome.
without, yeah, we couldn't do this. We appreciate you, and I love.
Yeah, we had an interesting chat before this in the pre-show that we realized that variable is paying forward to get
Variable
the
label. Thank you again. Oh my gosh, this is like 3 weeks in a row or 4 weeks in a row.
4 weeks in a row.
Love you, man. Love you so much.
Yes, we had an interesting chat that if we wanted sponsorship and all the money, we should probably rename the show title. The problem is, our peeps love the show name, so we can't like. This has become. I think was it Aramon or somebody tweeted out last week that we have become somewhat of a real show with format and news, and I'm like, yeah, we figured like a rogue AP, but see, if we had thought this out, we would have like changed. We would have come up with a better name than Wireless Shit Show. That's what we are. So
literally, Kataro's like, well, this is a shit show. You barely show up, so it's a shit show. I'm like, that's the name. Let's do it.
Yes. So anyway, all right. Let's get into the news. Today is a long tech news thing, and yes, there will be talks about the event that happened last night or yesterday, and that will be at the end. But
yeah,
in the meantime, for all the war drivers, there are a couple of new spots coming up that you should be aware of. The Minnesota Vikings have their own catering service or they have a foundation that offers catering to just to rural areas. It's called the Vikings Table. They have now added free broadband Wi-Fi for participants, thanks to partnership with Land O'Lakes Incorporated that will combat the digital divide. So as part of our rural distribution, we are proud to provide equitable access to Wi-Fi. So apparently there's going to be a bunch of trucks with Wi-Fi for people to connect to. So
any of our viewers in the Minnesota area, you said Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, Minnesota area. That'd be awesome to get out and be the first one to scan some of those.
Yes. It says we are also thrilled to be able to head into our rural farm communities in Minnesota where we provide great, healthy, nutritious meals with our Vikings Table program and also help close the divide by bringing Wi-Fi access to those communities.
What do you think the security protocol is going to be for setting them up? I'm going to say WPA2 with Minnesota Vikings as the password.
No, it's probably Vikings champ 2020 something. I don't know. 2022.
Los Angeles
says I live 15 minutes back. Of course they do. Of course, Los Angeles lives there.
Like, woot.
No, but I think that's a cool idea. A bunch of food and Wi-Fi. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to set up a script to see when some weird stuff starts popping up in that region of the world. That's gonna be cool to see.
So that one, and then the other one for war drivers that are interested is that Houston is bringing up a bunch of hotspots across the Houston area, the city of Houston, because of the tropical storm Nicholas have, knocked out power in the neighborhood. The Houston Health Department will open 4 multi-service centers from noon to 5, and people with no power can go charge it. The centers will have restroom and air conditioning, but are not overnight or long-term shelters. Comcast is offering Xfinity hotspot in the Houston area Tuesday to help people affected by Tropical Storm Nicholas.
That's
which means
cool.
A whole bunch of new Xfinity hotspots. The non-Xfinity internet customers should search for Xfinity Wi-Fi. Ooh, surprise. Wireless network running on the list as well, and then follow the on-screen prompt. So it's a Captain Portal type login thing. But
interesting.
Right.
But cool that they're doing that. Also, it'd be interesting to see like how much bandwidth you can actually pull through that.
Right. Also, potential place for a Dropbox because people will be connected to Wi-Fi spots. So
I remember some years ago at DEF CON, there was a talk that ended up not being given where they were talking about setting up drop nodes at like Starbucks and stuff and then relaying it over 900 megahertz back to something farther away and creating like a...
right.
I wonder if anybody would be interested in doing something like that. That might be some cool research.
Yeah, I totally might not have built a Wi-Fi Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot fish for the Wi-Fi pineapple back in my days. Just saying, it was pretty easy. Because back then Facebook login was a thing. I don't know if that's still a thing. I just Lozalink says I wanted to see that talk so bad. And Amazon Sidewalk is still around, I think.
Yeah, they're still pushing forward with it. They've rolled it out to a subset of the devices. I think the Dot and then some of the Ring devices have it built in, and I think they're going to be pushing more out devices. So stay tuned. I've definitely started amassing hardware to start doing some research down that. So hopefully be able to see some of that stuff in the wild.
So next up in the more big tech coming into your home, Google has redesigned Wi-Fi devices tab and will have a interesting feature now that is what they're calling, what's it called? It's called something like, it offers device speed now. So you can actually do those speed tests if you have like a Nest Google Wi-Fi thing. Is now so they have a thing that Google says whether or not it has great, okay, or weak connection to your network alongside with download and upload speed. This is the way to prioritize device button on the screen so that you can control your uptime and whatnots. But that's not the big thing that I was wondering about, is that in the new Google Home update, they have hold on, just damn it, now I need to scroll down and find it. Goddamn thingy. I know why it's out of order. I skipped the story. Well, we'll do this one first. They apparently have this now function that the ISP can connect to your router and check whether it was up or down and see what's happening on it, just to offer you better ISP services. And I'm like, yeah, right. That's gonna be great. It's like they're not sure if they're gonna offer to other ISPs. I think they're starting it with their own Wi-Fi service, the Google Fi thing. But the text that came with the article. Dang it. Hold on, just give me 1 second.
In the meantime, Variable Label says, why does IoT even need to talk to the internet? Because connectivity, man. We got to get all the things connected.
Right.
And also, Mr. Bill asks, when are we going to have a Bobcat Miner update? I'm traveling this week, and I forgot to bring it with me. So soon. Stay tuned. Soon. We'll have some more funness on that.
I'm gonna put this. Oh wait, they changed it. All right, I'm reading a different article about the same thing, but the idea was that basically that ISPs can now connect to your router to see when it was up and when it was down and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, that's not something I'm looking forward to. So, it's called the ISP access preference for the Wi-Fi Nest. So the speed test, the ISP access preference will allow internet service provider to access and manage your Wi-Fi network and any Google Fi or Nest Wi-Fi router or point in your network, including the ones added later to the network or the ones that are not obtained from the ISP. You stay the fuck away from my router.
Is this a good reason to run like a Pi hole or something, and so that way you've got everything running through it?
Probably. I run my Pi hole. I am a Pi hole. I've been told I was a Pi hole sometimes. A couple times.
I tell you to shut your Pi hole sometimes.
So router reflash to run other firmware. Yes, definitely. How many subsys do I need to run? The other This is a really interesting news article. It's more of a, not a practical one, but because it's still very, what's it called?
Theoretical?
Theoretical research, yeah.
Yeah.
Researchers have found a way to use Wi-Fi, off-the-shelf Wi-Fi transmitter and receivers to count how many people are in a room by body fidgeting movements. So basically, they took this mathematical function that they use for other predictable models, and by measuring the power signal strengths at different time stamps, they can estimate how many people are in a room, because people tend to not sit super still. They'll be like, right? So they'll be fidgeting, and that will change the disturbance in the RSSI, so they can predict how many people are in the room. Now, the YouTube clip is kind of cool. If you check out the YouTube clip, it says they have a very high successful rate for rooms with 10 people, up to 10 people in it. And I'm like, well, I can tell you how many people are in a room if it's less than 10 people by looking at it. Right? But they do not talk about this in the video clip. But in the video clip, what is the really cool part is that they can do this beyond the wall, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, great. Well, there's something inside and there's something outside the wall, and the measuring is like, no. If you look at the video clip, it shows a RX and a TX, so a transmitter and a receiver, right next to each other against the wall. Now that I think is kind of cool.
That is cool,
right? I can see the FBI or SWAT teams using something like that. But then again, if it's 10 people, does it really matter, right?
Right.
I think, yeah, CCTV works too. Yes. Yes.
The obvious option. Put a camera in there.
But I think they can.
And then you could use machine learning, and then you could count the people based off of the image.
Loza points out that Linksys has been offering a monthly security server that does motion detection at your house via
I
Wi-Fi.
didn't know that. That's crazy. I remember back in the day in DDWRT, there was this thing called Y-Spy, I think it was. No, it wasn't Y-Spy. I don't know. It was like a little Java applet that you would load, and it would turn your thing into just like basically just like it would just listen for. It was like a very like rudimentary early version of like what Kismet was doing, right? But what it would do is it would map it based off of the RSSI of what the distance would be out to the clients that it would, or the clients or other access points that it would see, and give you kind of a distance estimate on a circle. I always thought that was really interesting, but the one thing that I noticed, it was hella inaccurate, because like RSSI on at least my experience is really, really like jittery, especially with multipathing with, from 802.11 and on, you get just really, really weird RSSI. And I just have not seen something accurate enough that where I could do stuff like these guys are talking about. So it'd be really interesting to see this research and see, because like there was that one research, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, where they were able to determine how many people were in a room and basically draw a map of people in a room, but they had to have like 100 access points all the way around the room, and then they would use the trilateration, and then the like the inner reflections, and they wrote their own like custom low-level drivers. We're doing it at the RF level, so
yeah, there has been research like this, and I think Neighborhood Baraka points out the RF heat map, and there's a bunch of stuff like that happening. It's still kind of cool though. I always like academic papers because they keep coming up with the most like this is just applicable to our white paper acronyms.
Yeah.
Like this one has CFP and CSPs. CFPs are crowd fidgeting periods.
Interesting.
CSPs are crowd silent periods. That makes it sound so much more official. Like the wireless shit show is known as the SS.
And we inject a little bit of BSS.
Yeah, a lot of BSS. Most of it. We have 90% BSS
here. That's crazy. Crowd fidgeting.
Like, you know, it's what nuts. All right, so that was that. And then I was gonna do the Google Home because that would be a nice thing into the next story, which was Palo Alto reveals malware detecting Wi-Fi router. And I'm like, what the fuck is a malware detecting Wi-Fi router? Turns out they are taking off some of their corporate technology and releasing it for work at home and Soho routers, so they have like separation of Wi-Fi. Also, the router will detect when a worker clicks on a malicious link or prevents a malicious website from loading, and also some other phishing attempts and blocking cyber attacks that target an employee's smart home appliances. And I'm like, all right, kind of cool, but right.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But I think what it does allow is that it allows the introduction of separating your guest Wi-Fi and your home Wi-Fi and whatnots. And I think it's also they're including some of their like secure access service on one side of the network, so that if you connect to that one, you're already secure. But once again, you know. However, there is a really shitty article on Newsweek this week.
Yeah.
And this is like next level FUD. So the article says Bluetooth headphones could be used to track you. It's extremely concerning. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like, ugh. So it basically a student at the university did this thing called, oh, I have to read it as what they were doing it, because that's, oh yeah, the student named the project Operation War Drive, as war driving is a term used to describe gaining unauthorized access to Wi-Fi networks. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what? Right?
Can I go on a rant about this?
And then no. Hear me out. Right?
Yeah.
The report goes through the vulnerability of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in terms of privacy, location tracking from third party without user consent using what was it saying? Where was the other thing? Oh yeah, because a security measure called media access control MAC address randomization. I'm like, what? Here, I'll throw it in the chat. You guys can all just like dodge on this, because this thing is just plain out stupid. His kit included a Raspberry Pi and an omnidirectional Wi-Fi antenna that could pick up Bluetooth signals from a distance of 100 meters, and a USB GPS device that could pinpoint locations. And I'm like, whoa, God, right?
Why can't I get an article like this written about me?
Well, here's where it gets even worse, right?
Yeah.
Hedges' findings have caused concerns, especially in the light of revelations from NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden. The information leaked by the former NSA whistleblower, probably left off Donald Trump's pardon list, demonstrated how easy collecting data from cell phones and other devices can be. I just like, the fuck is this article? I was just like,
they invoked Snowden.
they tried to throw in as much as shit as they could into this one article. This is fucking Newsweek. Newsweek, you gotta do better than this, man. This is just sad.
Well, see, the people that read Newsweek wouldn't know who Edward Snowden is, except for the fact that he was left off Donald Trump's pardon list. So, see, it all fits together. They gotta throw that reference in there. Oh, jeez.
I mean,
well, good find. Like that's a great article. Wait. So who's the researcher? We should like find out who the researcher is and like.
Well,
see
it's
if we can
I mean, here, I don't want to pick up on the researcher, because he's a Bjorn Hedges, network and IT security student at the Norway Orof University.
Yeah.
So he was able to discover 9,000 Bluetooth transmitters, including 129 headsets. Like, whatnot, right. I mean, this article is just full of like, bleh.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
rough.
they got Snowden and Trump and hackers
are war driving. to gain unauthorized access to
Yeah.
headphones.
Okay. Here's the thing, Bjorn. If you're listening to this, which I doubt you are, if you come to any of the cons that either me or Dark Matter is at, we will buy you a meal. Not because of your research, because of the fact that you made it to Newsweek.
Newsweek and got Snowden and Trump invoked in your article.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm surprised. He only found 9,000 Bluetooth transmitters on a 300-kilometer trip. I mean, 9,000 Bluetooth devices on a 300-kilometer trip? Not much.
Yeah, let's see how many I picked up today when I was trying to get my rank back against Lozeling.
Oh yeah, I heard Lozeling called you out. Tried to catch you, then you go.
Yeah, he's or they killed me. So well done, Lozeling. Although, I mean, I do appreciate like being called out because it's good to have
motivation is important.
Yep, it's very motivating. It's helpful.
Like, look, 9,000 Wi-Fi devices is a good number, but I'll pick that up too. But I live in Tokyo, fine. I don't live in Oslo. But like 9,000 Bluetooth transmitters is not a lot of numbers for a 186-mile trip. Right?
Yep, so, for sure.
I wonder what he used as a tool, though.
I know. I'm interested. I bet there's a UD. What are they? UD 400s, 100s.
100, the Senas.
Yeah, the Senna. Yeah. UD, and then I bet. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. If they're really hardcore, then they've probably doing some stuff with SDR. But I don't know.
So
probably just blues. Probably just blue Z.
Maybe Blue Hydra.
Blue Hydra.
Shout out Zero.
He's using and then no reference to the tools or like any of the like prior research that was able to get him to this point. Oofda. Yeah, maybe Ubertooth. Good call.
Anyway. On a more positive note, Kali 2021-3 is out. Congratulations, Steve Dev.
Yeah,
I know you're in the chat, Steve.
That's
and then
awesome.
Pentu. Yes, I see your net, Pentu. Right. Here's where we come. That will become relevant in a later portion of this show today. But new Kali out. The release is great. It has some new Wi-Fi tools by default. Berate AP, EPHammer. Router keygen PC and WPA Psychopath is now installed by default.
Oh, nice.
More Wi-Fi goodness. But the really cool thing about the release is that there is this smartwatch that I didn't know. It's called the TicWatch Pro. NetHunter can now run on TicWatch Pro. So you can have it's called the TicHunter Pro, I guess, but you can have NetHunter on your smartwatch. Now, the practicality of that is meh, probably, but it's very cyber, very Hollywood hackerish. So, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've always dreamed of having like a super elite like arm wrist watch thing. So,
but it does include some that I'm pretty happy about for Raspberry Pi Kali users. Kali Pi config and Kali Pi TFT config are now installed by default on the image. So that's thank you, Steve.
That's awesome. That makes it so much easier.
It makes it a lot easier for a lot of things. So
yeah.
If you don't know, Kali Pi config is basically Raspberry Pi config, but for Kali a bit different. But right.
Yeah.
So
yep.
All right. So now the big news.
The big news
is yesterday's Apple event. Yes, we will recap this, and it will become relevant. The Pi tail image, right? I forgot. Sorry, Steve. Thanks for pointing it out.
Wait, what's the Pytel image? Please tell me.
The PyTail image is I wanna make sure that I don't fuck it up. Um,
Nobody cares about Apple.
it's the thing where you do a Raspberry Pi Zero and then you connect it to like an Android phone, and you can have the thing running on the
So it's kind of like a headless mode that allows you to control it from a mobile app.
it's basically what it says. The PyTail is running Kali Linux on your smartphone and acts as the power supply, screen, and keyboard and mouse for the Raspberry Pi Zero. So yeah,
Very, very
I know,
nice.
Steve. I didn't read the whole goddamn thing, so fuck you. Uh, Dude, I'm the only one doing all this news research. Okay, so, but
Yeah,
yes.
because the other half of this duo is a deadbeat. So thanks, Kintaro. I appreciate you.
But no, nobody cares about Apple, which is a good fair point. But there is. So yeah, you can use your phone as your display and keyboard for the Kali on a 0W.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, so that's kind of cool. Whether or not the Pi 0W is a formidable platform to run Wi-Fi scanning devices is a whole nother thing. I mean, Horse will run fine. Kismet, not so much. By the way, I was talking to Dragorn. Kismet on the Pineapple Mark 7 is now very stable, according to him. So I'm looking forward to playing with that. I haven't done it.
Well, I don't even have a Mark 7.
Yes, you do. The latest one.
Mark 5, Mark. No, I don't have a Mark 7.
It's in the mail.
Ooh, it's in the mail.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Hey, no, the Apple event is important because it will go into what I wanted to talk about today. So I love my iPad Mini. I have had them since Mini 3. I had the 3, 4, 5, and I probably will get the latest one too. But I miss it's the best of its form factor because Nexus 7 is no longer a thing. I wish it was. I have a couple of what I call China Android, which is like these Chinese Android tablets, and they're all kind of suck. They're not as good as anything else. And the Samsung releases here in Japan are full of bloatware, and their IME, which is the front end translation engine for multilingual input, is just awful. It can suck donkey's ass juice. So I've not been a fan of Samsung tablets either. So for me, my iPad Mini, I've always loved it. I travel with it everywhere. I use it every day. It's a great format as a reader.
You've also demonstrated how to destroy its Wi-Fi on this channel.
Oh, yes. And there's a whole bunch of shit. But at the same time, I think that form factor alone, I think I love it for the power and the spec, and I live in a very Apple ecosystem. Now, why did I? Right, and I but I'm torn between the new iPad Mini and iPhone 13 Pro because that lens, that camera, and that lens is incredible. To up my Instagram game. Just like
I know the S21 has upped my Instagram game. This camera is
so
dope.
But I have also a lot of investment into my current iPhone 11 platform. So I'm gonna wait. There's a big wait for me until SmartRig comes out with their case because I love this case. This is the SmartRig iPhone case. It's basically it allows you to add a microphone and lights, and it has threads for tripod, and it's a steel case. So.
Whoa, and it looks very cyberpunk.
Well, yeah, I guess. If once they come out, then I might switch over. Also, the new Apple Watch. I'm like, oh, finally, battery power, battery life, and whatnot.
Wait, it's better than this one?
Yeah, it has a bigger screen, faster CPU, and more battery power.
I got this. Well, I wanted to go all in on this one because it had the blood O2 sensor. I was super
Yeah.
excited about that.
Series 7 is coming out end of fall this year, so in a couple months, I think.
Wait, what is mine? I thought mine was a 7.
That's just probably Series 6. Series 6. It has the new one will have 18-hour battery life on a larger screen. So, I mean, I have that Phoenix, but I do like the app being able to reply back on my watch, which I can't do on the Phoenix, which I can on the Apple Watch because of the Apple ecosphere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, mine's
right,
definitely a Series 6.
what might be interesting for you is that the new Watch OS 8 will have automatic bicycle detection. I think is what they call it, so that when you start riding a bike, it can tell you, "Hey, it looks like you're on a bike ride. Would you like to track your workout?" So,
That's awesome. Mine does do it already, like when I'm out running and I forget to start
right,
my watch, or even when I do like a long walk, it'll pick it up
right,
and then it will like remember the first half, which is
yeah.
super helpful.
But I think it only does for walking and running so far. I think.
I haven't tested
Uh,
with anything else, but I've definitely
right.
seen it with
I,
both of those two
yeah,
things.
that was the big announcement that they did. So for this show, I did watch the whole Tim Tim show, not Tim Allen, Tim Cook show.
Tim Allen.
Home Improvement.
Apple improvement.
Yes, rest in peace, Norm. I just decided to throw that in. But it also can detect the e-bike ride, and I know you're a bike ride, so yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, but it always comes down to, well, Apple is stupid and you should get an Android and you should run Pentoo and you should then Kali sucks. You should get rid of a Raspberry and run whatever. Vim
You
versus
should run
Emacs.
You should run FreeBSD.
Yeah, well, so here's the whole point, right? That's what I want to talk about is that the A versus B argument is stupid. Right? There's a Japanese saying coming from the old Chinese, that says Kobo wa fude wo erabazu. Kobo is a monk or an evangelist Buddhist monk, and usually they are ones spreading Buddhism. They're out to preach the Buddhist message, but they also were one of the few people who were literate, and they were known for their calligraphy. What the literal translation means: a monk known for his calligraphy does not choose his brush. The English equivalent will be: a good workman does not blame his tools. Right?
Right. I like that.
So, you choose different tools for whatever you need and what you need to get done. Right? So the whole look, you should every time, like, I post a picture of my iPhone, they're like, oh, you should run Android. I'm like, if I post a picture of my Android, they'd be like, oh, I thought you were an Apple guy. Like, and whenever I mention Kali's, like, yeah, run Pentoo. I'm like, look here.
I think I've said that to you once or twice before.
Well, all the time, it's fine. Kali is Kali and Pentoo. The big reason why I'm a Kali boy is not because Kali is better than Pentoo. Kali just fits better in my hardware requirements than Pentoo. Pentoo, trying to internationalize Pentoo has been a very difficult process early. I haven't done it lately, but running Pentoo on some non-US hardware always has been an issue for me. Whereas Kali was a little bit easier because there's a lot more write-ups in my language that I require, and people have done the legwork. Right now, that's a Pentoo marketing issue, which is not my domain. So right. You want me to get you some Pentoo? Right? So no, it's just like, look, I'm used to Kali more than I'm used to Pentoo, and yes, whatnot. And there are times I will run Pentoo, and there are times I have tried to run Pentoo, and I'm just like, nope, going back to Kali because I don't have time to relearn all of this again, and that's not my purpose. And it's the same for a lot of things. Like, Vim versus Emacs argument is fun, but it's still stupid because Vim has always been better.
Yes, something we finally agree on.
Yes. Also, the fact that every time Kali doesn't work, Steve is more responsive than zero. So zero usually blames users like, no, you don't know how to do this. I'm like, well, I don't, but could you fix it? I'm like, no. just I'm just but no, here's the point, right? So that comes down to a lot of things, and a lot of people have really, really vocal opinions about Apple versus Android, especially. And like, I run both, right?
Me too.
Because of Wiggle, right?
Freaking too.
Like, and I love the I love the functionality of my Apple, and I love things on the Android. There's things on the Android that I wish Apple did, and there was things on the Apple that I wish Android did.
Right.
But like, arguing which one is better than the other is just I think you're forgetting the ethos, the hacker ethos, is that do whatever the fuck you want to do and use whatever tool you decide to use, right?
Well, and two, it's like if you immediately pick one over the other, you're immediately like eliminating the possibility of research in like a whole realm of things that you could find out about, right? So for me, it's always been increasing my landscape of what I know, what I'm good with, what I'm comfortable with. So that's why, I do run Pen2, I do run Kali, I do run like whatever, hardened BSD, I run like just whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah,
I mean,
why
it takes
would you
more
box
time.
yourself into like this one thing that, and try to die on that hill, right? It's just like pointless.
It's there's definitely a big problem with that. I mean, and part of it is time constraint, right? Time constraint, and then also tutorials, right? Because there's definitely like a barrier to entry on some things where it's like take BSD for example. Like the barrier to entry when I first started BSD like 15 years ago was seems so difficult because you're literally compiling everything from scratch, everything you're working on. Like eventually you get to a point where you have a package manager, but that's a package manager of source code.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's not like you're actually getting anywhere. Then we have some of the ease of use of some of the other systems that are out nowadays, and it's for me. I really like the idea of the jails and the separation of the resources in FreeBSD, and so I had a use case that made sense for secure, like a really secure environment on top of oh, now I forgot what it was. One of the virtual environments.
VirtualBox.
No, like a real virtual environment.
Parallels.
You're going the wrong way, man.
The other way. ESX.
ESX. VMware. ESXi. Man, I can't remember what the freak is called. Anyways, but getting that set up and the networking and everything, and then like the firewalling and network firewalling features of BSD.
Beehive.
Beehive. I don't even know what that is.
Mr. Bill Owens asks, can we all agree System D sucks? Yes. System D does suck.
You can only say that System D sucks if you've written a System D script.
Yeah.
That's my rule. QEMU. Yeah, QEMU. Yeah. Thank you, Kobeski. Yes, QEMU.
BOS for life. I do miss BOS.
And KVM. I just remembered the other one. QEMU and KVM. Those are the two. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
All right. BOS was gorgeous. And Milkman agrees. So it's true. Milkman agrees. System D sucks. Because Milkman is the reference for what sucks.
Well, I'm not saying, like Steve Dave, I'm not saying that, like I had to use FreeBSD to use KVM and QEMU. You can use it on any Linux. It's just I was specifically using it for the added security of the jails, being able to gel it into a very specific environment. It's a very interesting use case. Long time ago. Haven't done anything with that project for like 10 years. But that was the reason why I learned FreeBSD, because of that very specific security implementation. So...
Right. So, I mean, it gets to a point where, if you wanted to learn and explore the world. Oh, I love Next. You know what I like about the Next? Sorry, never breakfast like any Next. I love that Next keyboard. Next had one of the best keyboards because the way they laid it out and had this gorgeous spring-loaded space bar at the bottom. Where was I going? Oh yeah, no, I was going like, it's an easy, it's a fun and easy thing. But there are some people who are really, really die hard on one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you're a hacker, why would you put yourself in like tight pants like that and just go, no, I'm going to do this. This is the only way you do this. Like,
Well, and I find too that like those people are the people that are not providing tutorials. They're not providing help. They're not providing like they're literally leeching off the community so that they can do the bare minimum in whatever that thing is that they know. So
this also leads to the bunch of questions of, hey, which one is better? It's like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
yeah, it's like, are we talking about compiling software? Are we like plugging in a dongle and it just works? Like fully exploiting a client, like finding reverse engineering bugs? Because like, I mean, like I use Windows to do any of my reverse engineering because of IDA and Ghidra. Like literally, that's like my go-to for reverse engineering. So it's like.
Oh
Windows.
yeah, and I wanted to shout out to Steve, because apparently with the new release comes a bunch of people's like, I tried to install it but I can't, and Steve is like, it's in the docs. Like I got pointed out like the tailpipe image, and they're like, well, I don't read the docs. I'm like, well, that's your fucking problem, It's just like, yes, read the fucking manual. But reading, if there's one important skill you should have, is reading. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are, just the ability to sit down and read.
I would argue that in addition to RTFM, somebody should make a YouTube video. that would get a lot more people able to get help very fast.
I vote for Steve doing a bunch of Kali install videos on YouTube.
Okay, everybody, now what we're gonna do is put the flash drive in the system. Hey, maybe that could be a new content angle for us. We could start doing introduction to installing Kali.
If we start doing install Kali episodes, people will be like, "Fuck you! This is not where we come." I mean, we should probably do a uninstall RTL 88 series drivers series.
Mr. Bill says a YouTube video of someone reading the actual manual.
No, I will do that. I will definitely do that. We're like Samuel L. Jackson's reading Go the Fuck to Sleep, right?
Yeah, that is the best like reading ever of a book.
The Kali shit show.
Sounds like we have a second show idea.
Yes, Steve Dave showing the Kali shit show. But I mean, but yeah, I mean, until they come out with boot from YouTube, I think we'll always have this issue.
Wait, so you play the YouTube video and it installs Kali? Steve, can you make that happen?
Yeah, Steve, that's something you should work on. Boot from YouTube, where you just send them a YouTube link, and using WebSD and WebUSB, it installs it on a USB drive.
I'm sure there's WebAssembly you could use for that too, right?
Dude, I bet you now we'll end up seeing somebody at DEF CON in a couple of years going, now you can install I found a way to install Kali from a YouTube video.
And then the code's actually like all the ISO images is embedded in the video as well.
So anyway, I thought like, at least for the people who are here, let's agree not I mean, beyond the banter and the ball busting, let's not really get into this whole versus dialogue, because it's not really helpful. Not that this show is any helpful, but at least, but what I'm trying to do is, look, I mean, my time on this earth is limited, so I'm trying to pass on the ethos as much as I can. One of the golden mantras is, I always think, what would RenderMan do? Because I just saw this tweet come out, and I think Deviant said that, the RenderMan rule is that if it's not explicitly written, it's allowed, which always has been the case. And there was this one time I was at Shmoo, and I think Carson Scarab was solving the CTF that Veeks Clay put together. And he's running on this little GLI net router by the table. And I'm just looking at at Scarab solving it, and I'm like, you do realize that the CTF is on that thing in the SD in that thing, and he goes, yeah, I'm trying to solve it, by the puzzle by one. I'm like, dude, it's right there. Why don't you just unplug it and dump the SD card contents? You'll be solved. And he's like, no, I want to solve it. Like, and then Clay is sitting next to me just laughing out, and I'm like, dude, the fucking CTF is on that router. Unplug that thing and plug it into your laptop, and you're done. And he's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, is that allowed? I'm like, does it say in the rule books it can't? and he's like, well, I don't know. And he asked Clay, can I do that? Clay's like, no. But I said, hey, Clay, did you write it in the rules that you can't do that? They're like, no. Well, then it's allowed. So I keep yelling this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And he's asking for hints, and Clay's like, oh, I have, let me check my notes. And I'm like, Clay has fucking notes. At least grab that file and you'll be done with it. He's like, well, I don't know if I can do that. Clay's like, no, you don't encourage me in that. So then Renderman walks by, and I'm like, hey, Render, this guy is solving a CTF exactly the way it's being presented to him. And Render just looks at me and goes, why? He just kind of walks off. Man, that day I saw the Messiah. Anybody looking for t-shirt and sticker ideas, you should make what would Renderman do? Because that definitely is the golden mantra. Right? If it's not written in the rules, then it's gray area. It might not be good, but it's questionable area. Like, I have solved CTFs without solving any puzzle, but just going around pretending that I solved one puzzle. Right? I just like, hey, for that thing, the thing, I just go over to another team. Like, I ended up like 3rd or 4th in the competition. Mm-hmm. It didn't say in the CTF rules that I could not go talk to the other teams and collect answers.
Oh man!
Right?
Hey, and it's a valid tactic. So
right, and that's often the case, and that's why you should read the fucking manual to know where your parameters are. Mm-hmm. Right? If it's in the manual, it's like, do not connect this pin to the other pin, or you will have blue smoke. It's usually a good idea not to do it. Right?
Unless
unless you have a specific use case to do it. But you know it.
And you have and you have a backup one, so you could always just try it. Maybe they're lying to you.
Right. So it's that's the way I think we should at least There seems to be so much like content out there that is just like, well, this is the only way to do it. I'm like, well, why? Just like.
Yep. There's definitely a lot of ways to accomplish stuff. So.
Yeah. So and that's why this whole versus argument and whatnot is it's good fun. Mm-hmm. It's only fun, and you should not take it as mantra. You should always take it as mantra. What would Renderman do? I'm trying to put in name drops so we can get more tags on Twitter.
Ooh, I like it.
Religious wars, yes.
The Pope of the Church of Wi-Fi, I hope it will give us a blessing for your praise tonight.
I hope he shows up one of our episodes one day.
That would be a fun one to do. I miss Renderman. I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah. Don't RMF no. Yes, that
Hold,
should
please,
be the first
running it.
Anybody trying to figure out to force that run from via YouTube?
What if you made like an Amazon Echo, like run that
QR code T-shirt?
Right.
All right. I tweeted out a cryptic string on our Wireless Shit Show Twitter.
You did? When did you do that?
Well, before the show, 45 minutes before the show. I wonder if people sold it. Special California recall election night coverage. No.
Yeah, we got all we have all of your coverage right here.
Yes, because we both care about California. I don't.
Oh man.
We are lads. Let's see. Oh, I ran a poll. 5 votes. 5 votes. You have no plan. 60%, and just the two of us. You are both correct. So the cryptic string. Oh, Grimace got it. Of course, Grimace got it. Just the two of us. Yes. So it's a
Just the two of us.
and there's a reason by this. This is a rod 15 because it's episode 15. It's base 64 twice because it has two hosts. So if you do that, it ends up being just the two of us. And Grimace, once again, that's why he is the king. And Milkman's Twitter still sucks. So
Wow, nice job.
yes, translate this tweet just provides the same string because it's not any language. I'll throw in some more international challenges. I don't know if people like this kind of thing. But once again, you're both correct. I had no plan. I had wrote a bunch of news caps and whatnots, and we decided to do it. Like I said, with Dark Matter on the road and me catching up on things, I think September we're going to continue this. October we'll have some more guests coming in because I got that thing in at the end of this month that that's taking some of my time, and I have Code Blue coming up in October, so I have some planning. I don't have time to plan out.
Man, I want to come to Code Blue so bad.
You should. You should get 2 weeks quarantine.
Yeah, I heard it takes 2 weeks to get in minimum, and you have to. There's a lot of other things. You have to install an app. There's like a tracking app while you're in the country for like your first so odd days or something.
Yes, it's not like we all carry burner phones.
Touche.
Right? And did you know that Bluetooth can track you? Snowden said it.
Oh, I know because I was with I got from the health department. I opted into the letting other people know that I was COVID positive, and so I got the app and was sending it out, or the exposure notification was beaconing it out, and so pulled off the datas on that. It'd be interesting to see. Apparently, I've interacted with a number of people, but not enough to.
Epstein? Have you interacted with Epstein?
I have not. No, that's not what I'm saying. Why are you putting words in my mouth? Huh, Illuminati?
Anyway, on the other side note.
Real quick, too. Yes. Yeah, we'll definitely do more on the Bobcat coming up. I want to see if I can dump the firmware off of it and then do some going through that, and then hopefully have it up and available prior to the episode, and then as we go through it, people can go through it with us. So I think that would be pretty fun.
Mr. Bill goes, this stream has been reported. It's about fucking time. I need some ban in my life.
Well, you didn't report hard enough because it's still live. They didn't cut us off.
Don't challenge our listeners on reporting us. You do realize that those are the people who actually can and will, and just for the looks. But anyway.
They can't cancel us, Kintaro. We're too powerful.
I was born cancel, goddammit. Cancel is my middle name. Shout out to Woper Summit. Woper Summit is a conference that Clay, the VX, is putting together. He did one and then COVID hit, so that hasn't been. I think they did a couple virtual events.
I was at the inaugural in Atlantic City.
That was fun times.
And Guitar's hat went flying.
Oh yes, and then I that bruise, man. It's on my Instagram a couple months here, but that bruise lasted me a good couple. It's on. If you didn't know, Dark Matter has a YouTube, very non-active YouTube channel on his own. There's a clip of me and Plug X walking down the street, and I'm just I took a big slip on that rainy Atlantic City sidewalk boardwalk.
Yep.
But no, Woper Summit is.
I was worried about your life, man.
Yeah, well. Too bad. They're having a meetup on October 2nd, Saturday. And then if you have been wiggling and you're in town, they'd love to have you show and tell your rig. So join their Discord. It will be in the show notes.
And it's in Philly, right?
Probably. It's in that Clay, Danny zone of the U.S. So, oh, he's there. Hey, where's it going to be at, Vix? Yes, the suburbs.
Okay.
Well, that's really narrowing it down. Right? Like, there's only one suburbs in the whole Philly area. Is there? I don't know. I assume there are more than one.
Fort Washington.
Washington. The whole town. Fort Washington. The whole town is the Whooper meetup, so you can go to.
You just show up, and then there will be a red carpet, and
hey, I see you,
they'll
Nick. Good night, man.
in.
We'll catch you up. We'll catch up. Catch us on the replay if you. There's not gonna be much. This is the wrap up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. Good seeing you. I see you, Net.
Yeah, I see you, Net. Yeah. So yeah, go follow the VX Clay on his Twitters, and make sure every time you follow him, to ask a Stack Overflow question, because he loves Stack Overflow.
I did not know this about him.
Yes, he all his projects are off Stack Overflow.
That's awesome.
So he's like, no, stop. So let's go. Yeah, this goes back to actually that was the same shoe when I was yelling at Scarab for. So the reason why I always include Stack Overflow references whenever I mention the Bigs is he was drunk on his ass one night, and I asked the question, what website would be like the book of Eli, that you would carry to save humanity? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like Wikipedia, whatnot, and I said Stack Overflow. And then just VX, he goes, here we go again. No, because there are people who don't know the story, and I think it's funny. The VX jumps on that. In the Washington Hilton, they have that little like cushion Ottoman kind of thing on by the table.
Yeah,
he jumps on that and goes, I got your Stack Overflow right here, and just makes a hand in the balls, and they're like, motherfucker, and so apparently Clay's balls are Stack Overflow.
Oh my gosh. Can we get confirmation on this?
Yes. So, So I have my reasons for this argument. People were like GitHub, Wikipedia, and probably GitHub and Wikipedia are more valid entries. But Stack Overflow, for my sake, is that it has enough errors in it that will make people curious, which will help rebuilding civilization more than giving them answers, is what I think. So,
if we're really trying to rebuild humanity, shouldn't we get Reddit and 4chan?
I don't know about that. I don't know if that humanity deserves to be rebuilt in a civilization. But no, definitely go hit up VX and Whooper Summit. They're awesome people. We know that. Don't look behind you, Russ. I don't know. Is it Rust 2 or Rust 3? Whatnot. Tumblr.
Rust 7.
Rust 7. We had a. It's also the Whooper Summit was great in the sense that I fondled Dragorn's T100 soldering iron so much that at the end he was like, I feel dirty about that. You can just have it. I just brought it home. It's my favorite soldering iron.
It's a dope one, especially with the battery mod. I was highly impressed with that thing.
And we had some good times. But yeah, definitely Whooper is a meetup that I am looking forward to going back to when scheduling allows me to. So anyway, that's it for today's show. Are we doing it next week again? Or will you be traveling?
No, I think we can do next week. Yeah, it should be good.
Same time, same channel?
Yeah, because we'll look at the things and maybe we'll do some Bobcat stuff. Maybe we'll do some other stuff.
Yes. Oh, thanks, Mr. Bill. You already tweeted out, what would Renderman do? You forgot to tag him. Bobcat stuff, please. Yes. Anyway, thanks for everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you very much.
See you same time, same channel.
Same time, same channel.
Here on the Wireless Shit Show.
Wireless Shit Show.
La 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 la. It's El Kintaro and Dark Matter. Oh, I didn't tag him up first. Good. See ya.
Love you all, faces. Peace out. Have a good night, everybody.